Dear friends, welcome to English Poetry Classroom. Today it is Easter 1916. Easter 1916 is written by W.B. Yeats, as you know, and it is written as a commemoration of the Easter Revolution of Ireland in April 1916. The poem begins with a description of the dull and dreary everyday life in Dublin or in some city in Ireland. The poet says that he sees many people in the street coming out of work in offices and factories, and they are ordinary people. And the poet admits that they are very ordinary people whom he had looked down upon till then. And he never thought these people, who are the activists of Irish Republican Brotherhood, capable of any heroic act, especially for their country. And now they have taken him as wonderstruck for their heroic revolutionary activities. In the second stanza, he takes one by one of all these leaders and describes them in detail. And these revolutionaries include Countess Constance Makevich, Thomas MacDonough, Patrick Pearse, and many other people like John McBride. John McBride is the husband of Maud Gonne, the lover of W.B. Yeats. Yeats had looked down upon him as a drunken, vainglorious lout till then. And now even John McBride has risen to the stature of a dignified revolutionary who sacrificed his life for his country. All the leaders of the Easter Revolution 1916 were captured by the British Army and executed in the month of May 1916. In the second stanza, the poet describes all these people. In the third stanza, he analyzes the activities of the revolutionaries. He reflects upon their actions. He poses a very important question. At the same time, he says that he is not a person to judge these people. It will be in heaven's part to judge them. But what they can do, the people of Ireland and the poet can do, is to remember them fondly, these people who had fought for their country. Here, for the first time, we can see the ambiguous attitude of the poet towards the revolution of 1916. The poet does not fully endorse this revolution, we can say for sure. He has hated bloodshed all throughout his life, and even in this case, he disapproves of any kind of violence. But at the same time, he sees this act as a symbolic beginning of the idea of Irish nationhood. The concept of Irish nationhood is dawned for the first time in the history. That's why he feels attracted towards the cause of the revolutionaries. At the same time, he distances himself in the name of the bloodshed and violence of the revolution. In the third stanza, he introduces the imagery of the stone in the stream. These revolutionaries are like stones, their hearts are like stones, and this idea is further developed in the fourth stanza also. They remain as staunch supporters of the revolution. They have unflinching belief and faith in the idea of revolution, and they stand very firm in the flux of time and in the flux of ideas and beliefs. In the fourth stanza, he comes back to this imagery once again, as we have seen. And so the tension is also very visible throughout the poem. There is a tension all along the poem. It is running as a thread that unifies the poem, and that tension is between the ideals of revolution and the ideals of romantic brotherhood, which rejects any kind of violence and bloodhood. So we can say that shows, even though the poem is called as something political, that shows a very different strand of thought in the political arena. Another thing of importance is this poem marks the deviation of Yeats from his favorite metaphysical theme to something more political and more physical. And the and about the structure of the poem, there is a curious thing I would like to bring into your attention. That is, this poem has 4 stanzas, and the first and the third stanza have 16 lines each in them. The second and the fourth stanzas have 24 lines each. The number 4, that is the number of stanzas, stands for the number of April, for the month of April, and 16 lines stands for 1916, and 24 stands for April 24, the day on which the revolution began. So this is a kind of curious structural arrangement of the poem. And about about other poetic devices, Yeats can be considered as a past master of symbols and imagery, and we can see the poetic devices like oxymoron in the poem, and the most noted case being a terrible beauty is born. So I quote the refrain, a terrible beauty is born, not to show the poetic device, but to show the running strand of division, the running strand of divided attitude on the part of the poet. Terrible beauty. He calls the revolution as a terrible, beautiful thing. That means it is terrible and at the same time it is beautiful. It's beautiful because it has actually given birth to the Irish nationality or the idea of Irish nationhood. Okay, that's for now, and we will meet again with the questions and other discussion points regarding Easter 1916. Thank you.